All right, this is for Craig. This is that second video on how we're gonna use that KANERx for the neck. And we're switching our door anchor to the top of the door. That's a critical piece because from the base of the skull down to the mid neck, I want the angle going up at a pretty sharp incline. That's gonna help me get those areas in there real well. And so I've got the cane on the second notch here, just for the distance, depending on how high your door is. You may have it all the way compressed. You may have it out to that third hole set. Either one, any of those three is great. That last hole set, remember, that's just for the scissor function, so we're not going to use that one when we're pulling for these things. Always too, remember the rule of thumb is we always want to see the pop pins before we pull. So that's critical. So we're going to hook that there. I've got a nice steep down angle. I'm going to grab a seat here. So I'm going to be comfortable, and then I'm going to hook the big hook with these knobbies here. Those two knobbies are getting buried right in the base of the skull there. And so I'm going to position those there, and I'm going to position my seat a little, again, in front of the contact, so I'm just able to use gravity. Now, when I position it there, here's the critical part. I'm going to hook the cane slightly with my head, putting in an extension. The cane's not allowed to pull my head forward like that. So I want this bit of extension here, and because my butt is in front of the contact, I'm just going to be able to use gravity and lean back into that and let gravity do all the work. And so I'm getting the compression there, wait for that to distend or fade, and then I'm going to move it down a fraction of an inch and do that section, and so on and so forth, down to the middle of the neck. Now, after I get through the middle of the neck, we're going to move to one of my favorite positions with the cane, and that is doing it from my easy chair. And so I'm going to be able to just take my foot into the small hook here as I drive the large hook into here. And so I'm just gonna be able to leverage with my foot. Now watch me as I trap myself, my neck and my foot in between the cane. So I'm gonna lean back, but my foot is gonna come up, okay? And so that's gonna allow me to trap myself in between that small hook and that big hook, and then that's gonna just, again, I'm gonna be able to hook my neck over that thing, over that big hook, over those knobbies, and I'm just gonna allow that to compress there, and that's gonna finish off not only the neck, but now, I'm gonna switch this by 90. That's going to allow me to get up here. So again, my foot is going to be on the small one, okay? So right there. And then now the end of the big hook is going to be up in that upper back. Now the angle, so I want that to come in at that angle, so my foot is pushing straight to the floor. As I move down, I need to change the angle so that's coming straight in. And so my foot is going to come up. And so you see that as the foot comes up. And this is easy because it's sort of trapped in there. So it's not really an active move. I'm not really having to actively hold my leg up in the air. It's pretty much just resting up against that small hook. But that's going to allow me to move down all the way to really about the mid-back, almost to the bottom of that rib cage there. I can move down with that end of that big hook. So that's going to cover the neck, the upper neck. Remember that angle up. The lower neck is going to be down at the end. The angle is going to be down, and then this upper back to the bottom of the mid back. That's just doing it from your easy chair. All right, give that a watch. You give it a whirl, see how it goes, and let me know if you have any questions, concerns, or if you need anything else. Thanks for watching.